Greetings from the Arcturians. I'm just watching another news video from Midas Touch from 1 hour ago. And the headline of that video, headline? Oh, news headline. Well, I guess it's that too. But the title of this video says Trump launches strikes and instantly quits in 20 minutes. What does that mean? Did he launch any strikes, or did he just announce strikes but then didn't do it and then just like quits? I don't know what's going on. President Trump is being a Gemini. He's a Gemini, right? That's his zodiac star sign. That's his zodiac sign. That's his star sign. He's a Gemini. He's an airhead. He keeps changing his mind. He's all over the place. That's a Gemini quality for you. Anyway, so if President Trump is saying and claiming that he's talking to the main leadership of Iran, or that he's talking to, because who would be the main leadership in Iran? Who is he referring to? Is he referring to Ali Khamenei's son, Mujtaba Khamenei? Who is he referring to when he's saying or claiming that he's talking to the main leaders of Iran, or the main leadership in Iran, or the main leadership of Iran? Who exactly is he referring to? Is he referring to Ali Khamenei's son, Mujtaba Khamenei? Or is he referring to IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard? Or is he referring to Iranian Foreign Ministry and Iran's foreign minister? Or I think there's another person, maybe Iran's deputy foreign minister. I've noticed him, being on the news as well. Now, I'm getting President Trump is lying about that as usual. He's not talking to any of the Iranian leaders. And I keep getting Ali Khamenei's son, Mujtaba Khamenei, in my head over and over again. And I'm getting that he's certainly not talking to Ali Khamenei's son, Mujtaba Khamenei. He won't be able to, because Mujtaba Khamenei is furious with President Trump. Because what has President Trump done recently? President Trump has assassinated his father, Ali Khamenei, and his family, and members of his family, members of, like, other members of his family too. So why would he talk to President Trump? And of course, President Trump has, I don't even have the words right now, but I think Mujtaba Khamenei himself has lost limbs in that assassination attack, because he was there as well, right? In the underground bunker with Ali Khamenei, with his father and other members of his family. So he was there when the assassination and the attack happened, with those bunker buster bombs or missiles or whatever they're called, that the US military launched. On their underground bunker. And obviously that assassinated Ali Khamenei and members of his family, and have left Mujtaba Khamenei. I was seeing an image of Mustafa Khamenei recently on the news, or like it was like an image. It was maybe a photo, and it looked like he's at least lost a leg, like the lower part of his leg up till his knee, like he's lost a limb. I don't know if he's lost more than that, but so why would he talk to President Trump? Why? And you know, this is also reminding me when last year, for the most part of last year, I was, and of course, the Arcturians and our, you know, our galactic family, the Arcturians coming through and other galactics coming through, were urging restraint. Were asking President Trump not to assassinate Ali Khamenei. And last year, we were able to restrain President Trump because he backed off from assassinating Ali Khamenei last year, because he's been watching me, he's been watching us, and he backed off last year because we were able to restrain him last year from assassinating Ali Khamenei. And also because I was telling President Trump that Ali Khamenei, given his age, given his old age, he was going to die naturally in a couple of years anyway. So just leave him be. Do not go in and assassinate him. And last year, we were able to restrain President Trump because last year, President Trump backed off because he was watching me and listening to me, I suppose, to whatever extent. So he backed off last year. He didn't assassinate Ali Khamenei last year. But then obviously, I guess the pressure mounted on him this year and he just went ahead. The pressure from Prime Minister Netanyahu, I'm getting. And so he went ahead with Ali Khamenei's assassination this year, I think. So, and this is what it's done. This is why we were advising President Trump to not assassinate Ali Khamenei, to leave Ali Khamenei alone, and that he's going to die naturally in a couple of years because, you know, because of old age anyway. So just leave him be. Do not assassinate him. Because, and this is exactly why we were advising President Trump to do not assassinate Ali Khamenei and just leave him be, and he'll die off in a couple of years naturally anyway. I was telling President Trump this. I was telling this to President Trump. And that's why he backed off last year from assassinating Ali Khamenei. But this is it. This is exactly why I was advising President Trump not to assassinate Ali Khamenei, to not even try and go in for a regime change in Iran. Because look at what's happening this year. This is exactly why we were advising President Trump to not do it. Don't do it. And we were advising restrain. Because now the whole world can see what it's done, what Ali Khamenei's assassination has done, and what trying to do a regime change in Iran has done to the world. Because now it's affecting the world because of, you know, the hostage situation that we've got going on with the Strait of Hormuz, and the world getting affected by it, and the world's oil supply and gas supply and whatever other, you know, things that pass through the Strait of Hormuz in terms of global economy, when it comes to global economy and trade and global trade. and world trade. So, you can see, the whole world can see, or, whoever's been watching me since last year or before that, and the politicians and the world leaders who have been watching me at least since last year or even before that, and President Trump himself, you can all see what it's done now, right? And why we were urging restrain, and why I was urging restrain. Because this is what it's done to our world. Ali Khamenei's assassination and trying to do a regime change in Iran, this is what it's done to our world. You can all see it now, right? But when I was shouting from the rooftops last year on my channel and urging restraint and not to do this, and as I said, yeah, all right, I was able to, and we were able to restrain President Trump last year. He backed off from assassinating Ali Khamenei. And I guess he calmed down in terms of trying to bring a regime change in Iran last year as well, because he was watching me and listening to me and listening to us to whatever extent. But then, of course, he had Prime Minister Netanyahu in his ear as well. So, this year, the pressure from Prime Minister Netanyahu mounted on President Trump, and he ended up making this mistake, a very, very big mistake that is costing the world and the world economy and the global economy as well. And of course, in other ways, like, all the missiles and drones flying around the whole of Middle East and Iran and Israel and Lebanon and Bahrain and Kuwait and Iraq and Qatar and UAE and Saudi Arabia. Like, how many? It's like the whole of the Middle East is engulfed in this fire. And that's what Prime Minister Netanyahu wanted. And that's what President Trump has done. Standing with Prime Minister Netanyahu and attacking Iran, and then Iran retaliating towards the whole of the Middle East. And of course, there's, whatever's going on in Lebanon as well, that, whatever Prime Minister Netanyahu is doing in Lebanon, and then Iran standing up for Lebanon too. Standing up for Muslim brethren in Lebanon. That's the psychology. It's like, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like men like Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump, they don't know any better. They just know that they have the power, and it's like their psychology is more like, oh, if I can do it, why not? Or, I'm going to do it just because I can. Just because I can. No restraint. No restraint whatsoever. Or, well, as I said, I was able to, and we were able to, restrain President Trump a bit last year. But of course, then, whatever happened with me in my personal life, and I had to back off because I had to back off a bit because I needed time for myself. And I'm still in my grieving process. And I'm still having to get up here, get online, get on camera. And I'm still having to talk about all this, and I'm still having to deal with all this chaos and killing and destruction that these three men in power, namely President Trump, President Putin, Prime Minister Netanyahu, all the chaos and killing and destruction you three are causing in our world. And all of you are watching me, all three of you are watching me too, and other politicians and world leaders as well. I'm still in my grieving process, and I'm having to do this. I'm still having to go through this with you men, because you just won't sit down and you just won't stop, because you have such massive egos that you want to keep playing God in our world. Anyway, I'm getting the message that President Trump is not talking to any Iranian leadership, or, any Iranian leaders. He's lying about that. He's a pathological liar. You are a pathological liar, President Trump. You're watching me, so I'm saying it to your face. Will you please stop it? Will you please stop being a pathological liar? You are causing much damage to our world. You already have. It's time you restrained yourself, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Putin. You are all watching me. Been watching me. Anyway, President Trump, stop lying about talking to Iranian leadership, because you're not. Stop lying to the world. Like, do you have no shame even? No shame in the game, right? How can you keep lying to the whole world like this? You're not talking to any Iranian leadership. You're not talking to any Iranian leaders. Stop lying. And if anything, I'm getting, if any politician and a world leader watching me, of course, other than these three, other than President Trump, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and President Putin, or I don't know if President Trump can still be reasoned with. But if any of you world leaders and politicians watching me, if you want to bring me in when it comes to Iran and Lebanon and Gaza, Palestine, the whole of the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and of course, Saudi Arabian Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS, is watching me too, and he's been sharing my video messages with the Emir of Qatar as well. So if any of you world leaders would like to bring me into the situation, then what you would be doing essentially is you would be bringing in Prophet Muhammad, the spirit of Prophet Muhammad, into the situation, because I can channel Prophet Muhammad's spirit when it comes to the Muslim world and when it comes to Iran. And that is the only voice that Iran will listen to. Iran will only listen to Prophet Muhammad, or the spirit of Prophet Muhammad, that is still alive, because soul, spirit does not die. It's only the body that dies. Soul or spirit lives on. Okay? Soul and spirit is always alive. So the spirit of Prophet Muhammad is still alive and is still there. And I can channel Prophet Muhammad's spirit for Iranian leadership, for Ali Khamenei's son, Mujtaba Khamenei. And I've already said in a previous video that even Ali Khamenei's spirit wants to have a word and wants to talk with his son, Mujtaba Khamenei, through me. So, and Ali Khamenei's spirit has already come through with a warning message for, Saudi Arabian Crown Prince and Prime Minister MBS anyway. So when it comes to, warning him regarding the Strait of Hormuz. Now, so if any of you politicians and world leaders would like to bring me into the situation, you will be bringing in Prophet Muhammad, the spirit of Prophet Muhammad, and also God, also Allah into the situation, because I can channel both energies for Iran and Iranian leadership. And that is the only voice Iran and Iranian leadership and Iranian people even would listen to. They will only listen to the spirit of Prophet Muhammad, and they will only listen to Allah. They're not going to listen to President Trump. They're certainly not going to listen to Prime Minister Netanyahu. I've already told you this in a previous video, that going back into history, when it came to a ceasefire and Ali Khamenei, he only surrendered because he said, and these were his words, that he only surrendered to the will of Allah. And that's it. And that was only for a ceasefire after, I think, 8 long years or something, maybe 8 or 10 years, I'm not sure, but at least after 8 long years, he only said yes to a ceasefire. Ali Khamenei, we're talking about here. This is going back into history. He only, surrendered or said yes to a ceasefire after 8 long years or 10 long years, or at least 8 long years. I'm not sure about the number right now. Only because he said that he will surrender to the will of Allah. And that's it. He did not do it, or he did not surrender for anyone else or anything else but the will of Allah, the will of God. That's it. So why are you not getting it? When I keep telling you, world leaders watching me, and President Trump watching me, and Prime Minister Netanyahu watching me, when I keep telling you that that is the only thing Iran and Iranian leadership will surrender to, only to the will of God, only to the will of Allah. And they will listen to the spirit of Prophet Muhammad as well. They'll listen to Prophet Muhammad as well. But that's it. And for that, I am the only person there who can do that, who can channel the spirit of Prophet Muhammad, and who can channel the energy and spirit of God, or Allah for Muslims. I'm the only one on this planet who can channel the energy and spirit of Prophet Muhammad and the energy and spirit of Allah or God. So, if you want this war and this conflict that is affecting the whole of the Middle East and also affecting global economy right now and in the days to come, if you want an end to this, if you want a peaceful end to this conflict, to this war, you are going to have to bring me in. You will have to bring me into the picture. You have to bring me into the picture, because by bringing me into the picture, you will be bringing in Allah and the energy and spirit of Allah or God, and the energy and spirit of Prophet Muhammad. And that's the only thing that will work with Iran and Iranian leadership and even the people of Iran. Over and out.